guys, welcome back to AWM FX. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, no matter where you are. So I'm gonna make a educational video about Kink. So it will be either K-I-N-K, Kink, or K-I-N-G, because the actual use of word is actually K-I-N-K, Kink. Alright, but because the sound quite similar to King and it's easier to remember, so we use it as a King. So first of all, what is the definition of K-I-N-K, Kink? Don't think otherwise, right? So if you know what is a barbed wire, those wire that is on top of the fencing, either in school or some private areas, all right? So there is a lot of crosses barbed wire or wire there. So this is what we call kink. Okay, the purpose of this kink is actually to prevent people from going one side to the other side, right? So in terms of our trading, it's different. It's preventing the price from going one area to the other area. All right, so let's go in detail what kink that do we have. Actually, we only have 4 types of kink, not much, not less. 4 types of kink. So the first type of kink that we talk about, the most common type, is the DM king, or what we call it as a double maru king. Okay, so let me get this thing off first. So what is a double maru king? In actual, if you look at it, this is a marubozu candlestick. Alright, so we have 2 marubozu candlestick. In these terms, is a bearish candle. Then what happens is that when the bearish candle, the first bearish candle, they have a shadow going down. Then they have another shadow going up for the second candlestick. So this area over here, all right, this area over here is what we call as the king zone. All right, first of all, we have to identify this is the king zone. Then what happens is that our rules of trading, we only put our zone at this area. Alright, we only put it at this area. So if you look at smaller time frame, imagine this is a high time frame. You go into small time frame, you'll see that this is actually a drop base drop. Alright, it's a drop base drop, and this is a fresh zone. And this point, why I only put it here, this is the decision point at the smaller time frame. Alright, if you guys do not know what is a decision point, you might go back and look at one of the videos that I did. Alright, so this is the decision point, and the price when it reaches this area, it's very likely to fall. Okay, and the most important thing, alright, is that this area, you have to be aligned, or should I say you have to have something aligned with this point, is that MPL or SSR, maximum pain level or significant support or resistance. You must have this thing, okay, for the king, DM king, to be effective. Alright, this is a sell DM king. So the next king that we usually look at it, or should I say this is one of my favorite, honest with you, for continuous trade, this is my favorite. If I have any SSR behind, and that is this DM, the Doji King, this is my favorite. Alright, so what happens is that same, we have double maru over here, but the difference is that in between the double maru, there is a doji. Alright, there is a doji, or sometimes we call it a spinning top, but make sure the spinning top, the body has to be very, very small. And the question here usually asked is that what color of the spinning top matters? I'll tell you, it does not matter at all. So it's either a bullish or a bearish spinning top is okay. So how do we label it? Is that exactly like this. We label it, sorry. So first of all is that we label it from the whole candlestick. Then we reduce it to just the opening. Alright, just the opening or the closing, depends on the candlestick So this will be my area for a potential sell setup. Same thing here. It must be aligned with MPL or SSR. So the next king that we are looking at will be this king, which I call it as the BE king. Alright, it's a bearish engulfing king. Okay, first of all, to be qualified for this type of setup is that the first candlestick with the shadow, alright, has to be engulfed by the second candlestick over here. So to be qualified as a bearish engulfing king. Alright, so how do we label it? Is that we label it from the close of the first candlestick to the top of the second candlestick, the top or the high of the second candlestick, the shadow here. So this will be my zone for a potential sell. Alright, and same thing always applies. Make sure there is a MPL or SSR, alright, to be effective. Not all king is tradable unless it's aligned with SSR or MPL, which makes the king more effective. Not only that, the chances to gain profit is very, very high. Alright, so now we have the fourth type or the last type king, which is the double red bearish engulfing king. The difference between this type, the type 4 and the type 3 is that if you look at it, this is a bearish engulfing too. This is a red candle, a bearish candlestick too. Now, the only thing makes it different is that the shadow. If you look at it, this shadow engulfs the whole body and the shadow of the first candlestick over here. And how do we label or how do we put our zone, identify a zone, is that at the open of this first candlestick to the high, right, to the high of the second candlestick. So this will be a zone, potential zone for it to drop again. And same thing always happen, and I repeat, need to be aligned with MPL and SSR. Hopefully you guys understand. Alright, so why actually do we take note of this type of king? Why do we take? Because in different kind of time frame, actually in different kind of time frame, the supply and demand zone, okay, appears differently. Okay, sometimes in smaller time frame, it might look like this, but in bigger time frame, it's like this. Alright, so here I have an example. Let me take this bit away. Looks like I'm not good at managing space for drawing. So what happens is that if you look at this example over here, what we have is that the price came down and then making a higher high, should I say, is making a rally base. This is drop base drop. So this area, if you look at it properly, this is a double Maru king. Alright, and it might be a doji king. Alright, and it might be a bearish engulfing king too, because if this thing happens like this, alright, so it might be a bearish engulfing king, and it also might be a double red bearish engulfing king. So that's the reason I told you at higher time frame it will look like this, the 4 type. But in lower time frame, if you don't believe, you go into lower time frame, you definitely can see something like this. And what is the most important is that if you look at it properly, okay, it might be a QM setup, because if you see the price is moving higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, just imagine, and a higher high, then ultimately it drops and breaks the previous low. Means that there is a high chance the price will come back to this area for a sell. So actually everything that I explained, the bearish engulfing, the BE, everything, even the decision point, if you look at it properly, it's just a different perspective or different angle of time frame. We are all talking about fresh supply and demand zone too. End of the story, we still come back to the same cycle. Alright, so hopefully you guys understand this is how we define our Kink and how we trade our Kink and our zone. Alright, so if you guys have any question, please comment in the comment section below. And if you guys enjoy the videos that I made for you, do like and subscribe. Alright, so see you guys next time. I'm AWMFX, or you might call me Birdman. Alright, so bye.